there, my name is Jake Adams, CPA, and I'm here to spend a couple minutes with you talking about the brand new CARES Act, which was just signed and passed just a couple days ago on Friday of last week. And we're going to be focusing specifically here on small business owners and the impacts and what small business owners need to know about the CARES Act, which is worth up to $2 trillion. Now, specifically for small business owners, there's a couple things in here. We're going to be talking about those, and then also for W-2 wage employees, and basically for everybody else, and including small business owners, we're going to be talking about the stimulus checks. You've probably heard about the $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 for families. We're going to be talking about that as well. So, of course, I would love to give you like a bunch of information, but I'm going to try to keep this fairly quick, kind of moving pretty quickly, and hope this gives you a lot of really good information about this. So first of all, what is the CARES Act? Basically, it's for the coronavirus. It's basically impacted, shut down the United States and most of the world. If you don't know that, you're probably living under a rock, but welcome back. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this CARES Act and how this is impacting the U.S. economy, right? So essentially, basically, like I said, it was just signed on Friday. It's going to be really specifically for small business owners and for the residents of California and the rest of the United States. Okay. So first of all, I want to talk about the stimulus checks because everyone's like, "Hey, where's my check? When am I getting my check? What is this check that I keep hearing about?" So again, like I said, it's going to be pretty quick and I'm going to go over things fairly quickly. I'm not going to go really in depth into specific information, but to give you enough information, right? So first of all, it is $1,200 for each person, individual. And of course, if you're married, then there's two people or individual, you would get $2,400. And then for $500 for each child under the age of 17. Now, there's a few phase outs and restrictions to this. First of all, is if you make over $75,000 individually or $150,000 married filing jointly, then you start to reduce some of this amount or this credit, and that's called a phase out. Now, once you cross $100,000, that's individual, or $200,000 married filing jointly, then you essentially lose out on all of this, and they will not be sending you a check. Now, where are they getting these numbers? They're basing these numbers off either your 2018 tax return or your 2019 tax returns if you have filed. So if you haven't filed yet your 2019 tax returns, don't worry about basing these numbers off of your 2018. Now, if 2018 was great, if you had a great year, but then 2019 wasn't so good, you're going to want to file your 2019 sooner than later, right? So you can show these lower numbers so you can get these checks, right, that are going to be sent out probably in the next couple weeks. If 2019 was better than 2018, right, saying that you made more money in 2019 than 2018, you're still below these threshold numbers, then you're not going to want to file your 2019. Go on extension, wait, go ahead and let them send the checks out and collect your money, and then you'll be able to repay that back or reconcile that credit later when we get to that, essentially, right? Okay, now, I'm getting this question a lot is what happens if I've got children that are 17 or 18, they're just crossing over this age limit. What do I do, right? Well, essentially, you can go ahead and file their own tax return. If they have interest or wages or some sort of income, you can go ahead and file a tax return for them for 2019. And there's a chance that you'll actually get the $1,200 instead of the $500 in that case, or zero, which would be even worse. So if you're not sure about that, reach out to me. We'll go ahead and talk to you about that as well. But there is a chance that you can go ahead and file. Even if they've got self-employment income from helping out a friend or babysitting or something like that, you can put that on a tax return, claim it as income, pay a couple bucks in taxes on it, and then you can go ahead and get this stimulus money. Okay, so let's talk about how this is going to impact self-employed folks, right? So there's basically two different ways of handling this situation if you were impacted by the COVID-19, by the coronavirus. There's two different things. You can essentially go to unemployment, or you can do the SBA loan. So let's talk about both of these and which one you're going to want to do. Now, most small business owners in the U.S. are sole proprietorships or single person businesses, right? They don't have employees. they do have employees, maybe it's 1 or 2 employees. So in this case, if this is your business and you're essentially shut down, you're sheltered in place, you can't go out, you're a real estate agent, you're a plumber or contractor, handyman, something like that, right? And you can't go out and work, the best thing to do is to file for unemployment. Now, I'm here in California, so I'm going to go to California State Unemployment. And you're probably saying, well, Jake, I'm a contractor, I can't get unemployment. Yes, that was the case up until about 72 hours ago, right? Basically on Friday, the CARES Act passing of this basically now says that self-employed contractors, sole proprietorships, Schedule Cs, 1099s, anything like that, how that's referenced, essentially now gets unemployment. Now you're going to get your state unemployment based on your prior earnings. You're also going to get a kick-in from the federal government, where they actually pledged $600 a week for 4 months. Now, $600 a week for 4 months comes out to about $10,000. So we're looking at about $10,000 of, I don't want to say free money, but essentially it's kind of nice, right? So about $10,000 over the next 4 months, basically because you cannot work anymore. So you're a freelance photographer or a wedding photographer. Well, no one's really getting married anymore. People aren't congregating to go to weddings. So you're impacted by the coronavirus, by the COVID-19, right? So you get about, let's say, $10,000, right? Now that's in addition to your state unemployment. So make sure to file with your state, research how to do that inside your state. I'm not going to go through every single state, but go make sure to look at that and go ahead and apply if that makes sense for you. And like I said, that could be worth about $10,000. Okay, so what happens if you have employees and you want to go ahead and help the employees and get credits and things like that for your employee costs? Well, that's the SBA loan. So this is if you have employees, if you have a brick and mortar store, if you want to kind of keep going and you don't want to just shut everything down and get unemployment, the SBA loan is the best option for you. Now, the SBA loan, it's pretty complex. There's probably 6 or 7 different pages you have to fill out. Goes through some questions. The most important part of this form, right, in addition to knowing what forms to fill out and how to upload that, I'll have some links in the description here, but the most important form is 141368. So when you're compiling those, form 1368 asks about your current sales, right, and your revenues, and what they have been over the past 12 months. Now, this is really, really important for looking at the SBA loan, because the SBA loan is going to be based on how you have been impacted by the financial crisis, right, or by shelter in place and things like that. So essentially what you want to do is you want to look at, hey, this is my current revenues, this is my current sales, and this is how things have dropped off. And now you're going to be showing that, hey, I am impacted by this, so I need some sort of loan. Now, what the loan is really going to be based on is 3 things. Number 1, payroll. Number 2, your rent or your mortgage payments. And number 3 is your utilities. So essentially the SBA loan is going to be looking at these things, and you're going to be reporting all of these things on a monthly basis on your form 1368. So essentially, and of course I'm not going to go through that form, and everyone's going to fill that form out differently, but that's what you want to look at, is you want to look at this form for 1368 and say, okay, this is about how much I've been paying in payroll, this is how much I'm paying in rent and mortgage, this is how much I'm paying in utilities, and that's how you're going to let them know about how much you're going to need. And then they're going to be basing this loan amount mostly on payroll, right? So mostly on payroll. I've heard like 2.5% of payroll is about the amount that they're going to be loaning out. Now, why are they doing this? Well, they're essentially doing this because they want business owners to keep their employees. They want to keep their employees paid. They want to keep them on payroll. They don't want you to have to move out of your location. If you're paying mortgage, they don't want you to lose your building. They want you to be able to go back to work when this is over. And the utilities, right, to keep the lights on and keep the refrigerators running and things like that, right? They basically want us to be able to come back to work when the time comes that we're able to go back to work. So what is this worth? Well, this is actually worth $350 billion with a B, $350 billion, that's what this is worth, right? Now, what's important to note also with this is, typically the SBA loan is fairly common and known for it taking a lot of time to process loans. Well, what's important with this is we need to look at is there's a new advance. It's called the EIDL advance, and that's worth up to $10,000. Now, they still need a couple more days to process this and to change over the applications to actually have a place where we can ask for this advance. So when that time comes, keep looking at the SBA website. When they say, hey, that we're ready, we've got the updated forms, we're ready to go ahead and do that, go ahead and do this. And that means that you can get a $10,000 advance on this EIDL. Now, this is really critical because they actually, when the senators and when they put this bill out, they said, hey, we want to be able to send this advance out within 72 hours, right? So basically think of this as really quick influx of capital. They want this to try to go out as soon as possible to the business owners to help keep the lights on and have things keep going, right? So that's essentially what we're looking at there. Now, what happens if you get the $10,000 advance and then it comes back and you get denied for the loan? Well, you don't have to pay that back. It's then a grant by the SBA, by the federal government, which is pretty darn cool. All right, so now let's say you do get this loan and you spend the money on payroll, on rent, mortgage, utilities. Well, what happens is this is actually a forgivable loan, where if you spend the money on the things that they want you to spend money on, more than likely, if you submit the documentation, they're going to go ahead and forgive this loan. Of course, it's different in every circumstance. More than likely, what's going to happen is if you pay these expenses and you keep your employees on payroll, they're going to go ahead and forgive this loan because that's what they want to do. If they don't forgive the loan and you are stuck with the loan, you're basically looking between 3.5% and 4% rate. I think they're doing these loans up to like 10 years, so the payment on them is going to be pretty low. The interest rate is going to be pretty low, so this is a pretty darn good deal if you need cash. If you need cash sooner than this, go ahead and comment here. Let me know. I'm more than happy to connect you with some preferred lending partners that I'm working with. They could go ahead and help you with the cash that you need inside your business right away, and they're funding within 72 hours at the moment as well. Okay. So a couple other things that I want to talk about here. I know I touched on this pretty quickly and the high points of it, but another couple of things I want to talk about is the 401k loan. If you are an employee and you have the ability to take a 401k loan, it used to be up to $50,000. They've now doubled this to $100,000. So if you feel like you want to go ahead and take your money out and you want to do that, you can certainly go ahead and do that. And then also retirement distributions. So if you decide that you have your money in IRA or something like that, and you're ready to pull that out because you need it, well, there's no penalty now up to $100,000. So typically there's a 10% penalty. They've waived that penalty up to $100,000. Now, of course, don't go out and say, oh, well, Jake told me to do that. No, don't do that. Check with your financial advisor. Look at your stocks, look at your portfolio, look at how this money is invested before you take the money out, because when you take a distribution, you have to sell your investment portfolio or sell something to be able to get that money out, right? And right now, the markets are down fairly low, so don't make this an rash decision and say, hey, I'm going to save 10% in penalties. Definitely check your stock portfolio, make sure this makes sense for you. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and keep going, go live with these, so if you want more information about this, check out my website. It's adamsabc.com. I'll go ahead and have this video recorded and as well as some other videos as I post those. Hope to go a little bit more in-depth and detail into the SBA loan procedures if that's right for you. Go into the unemployment, especially for California, if that's right for you. And then also, if you feel like you need one-on-one support from me as a CPA, I'm more than happy to help you with that. Whether that's looking at your financials or helping you do your financials, helping you do your tax returns if you have back taxes and you need to get your taxes returned done, because you're not going to get this money if you haven't done your 2016 and 2017, 2018 tax returns, right? You're just not going to get it. So if you do need to do your taxes, let me know. More than happy to help you out with that. If you need help with putting together your financials for the SBA loan, I can definitely help you with that. And like I said, connecting with me, appointment with me, more information from me, find it online, adamsabc.com. There's an S there if you can't see, abc.com. All right, so thank you everyone for watching this quick video, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks.